Hi guys, this is me Ayush Kumar, and we are here in channel, and we will be learning many new chapters, many new subjects. We have chemistry, biology, physics, maths, and etc. Stay tuned in this channel. We'll be having so much fun together. So basically, I'll be using a book, read and understand you to make you understand. First, in my channel, I'll be doing math. English will be later. So we'll be doing maths and science. English, I'll think about doing English later in this channel, but we'll start with math. And first of all, I want to welcome you guys to my channel. This is the starting of my channel. It's my first video, I think so. Yeah. And if I make another video before this, then I would add that. But I hope this is the first video. And so welcome. We'll be starting our journey. So first of all, we are starting with maths because math is easy. It's very useful. So let's start with math. I will put my camera there. Okay. So we are starting with chapter 1, which is review of numbers concepts. And here in the chapter, you will identify and classify different types of numbers, find common factors and common multiples of numbers, write numbers as products of their prime factors, work with integers used in real life situations, calculate with powers of numbers, understand the meaning of indices and use the rules of indices, revise the basics for operating with numbers, perform basic calculations using mental methods and with a calculator, round numbers in different ways to estimate and approximate answers. So this is chapter 1. We're going with reviewing number concepts. So in this video, we'll be covering unit 1 and till 1.2. So every two topics will go. Yeah, so we'll be starting with different types of numbers. I know most of you guys already know, but we'll just review them really quickly. So first of all, we have natural numbers, and we'll get to So we have natural numbers. Now, so what are numbers? Definition is whole number from 1 to n, sometimes counting numbers. 0 is not included, so 0 is not okay. So basically, whole number are like 0 is not included. So example, let's look at some examples. Examples are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so we start from 1 and we go until infinity. Infinity means like it never stops, keeps on increasing. Okay, if we go from 1, not 0, 1 to any number after that. Okay, so that's natural numbers, also known as counting numbers, or are like a whole number. So the definition is like a whole number that cannot be divided exactly by 2. That cannot be divided by exactly by 2. So there are a whole number that cannot be divided exactly by 2. And what I mean by that is that, let's say we have the number 4. Now, is this an odd number or not? To find that, we'll divide by 2. And if we when we divide by 2, we'll get 2. So that means that this is not odd number, because it can be divided by 2. We take, for example, 3. 3 divided by 2 comes in decimals. It becomes 1.5. Okay, so that means that this number cannot exactly be divided by. So that means it is odd number. Okay, examples are 1, 3, 5, and so on. 5, 3, 7. So these numbers cannot exactly be divided by 2. The answer will come in decimals. That's why we can't divide them by 2. Okay, so now we are done with odd numbers. Let's look at even numbers. Whole number that can be divided exactly by. That means a whole number that can be divided by 2. We learned that the odd numbers are numbers that cannot exactly be divided by 2. But here, even numbers can be divided by exactly by 2. There are numbers that exactly can be divided by 2. This means that we'll take the example that we took before. Last time we used 4, so 4 divided by 2 will get 2. So this means that 4 is an even number because it can be divided exactly by 2. and the remainder comes in a whole as a whole number, not in like decimal, which includes point. So those are even numbers. We look at some examples. Some examples are 2, 4, 6, 8, and etc. You can see a pattern. If you know the multiples of 2, you can do this easily because every multiples of 2 is an even number. So all the multiples of 2 are even number. Like 2 to 2 is 4, 4 to 3 is 6, 4 is 8. These all numbers are even numbers because in multiplication, because they are divided and they're multiplied by 2, and so they can be divided exactly by 2. So these are even numbers. So now we are finished with even numbers. Let's look at integers. Now for most students this can be new to them. Integers are basically any of the negative and positive whole numbers, including 0. So what this means? We learned about natural numbers. Natural numbers are any whole number that from 1 to infinity, where 0 is not included. But integers are any of the negative and positive whole numbers, including 0. So they can be either negative or positive numbers. So let's look at some of the examples. So some of the examples can be -2, 0, 2, 4, 5, and so on. Like it can be, let me just make them in order. For examples, some examples can be like -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3, and so on. These numbers are integers. They can be either negative numbers, where positive numbers are like 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. So these are some examples of negative integers. And the next numbers, prime numbers are any number. So there are any whole number greater than 1, which 2 factors, the number and 1 space. But yeah, so prime numbers are any whole number greater than 1, which has only 2 factors, the number itself and 1. So this means that, so let's take 2. Okay, so 2 greater than 1, that has only 2 factors. Factors will, if you don't already know, factors will learn in this moreover in next video. But factors basically means that what are the numbers when multiplied can get the number that you're looking for, like 2. So to find the factors, we'll normally list out them, like 1 times 2 is 2, and then so on. But in the case of there are only 2 factors. There is one, and then number itself was just 1, 2. So these are the only 2 factors it has. So we have them classified as prime numbers. We'll take another example. Let's take the example 5 is also an prime number because the factors of 5 are 1 and 5. Because 2 is not a factor of 5, only 1 and 5. You should also know that 1 is the factor of every prime number, like every number. Yeah. So first will be 1, and then it'll be 5, because it doesn't have any other factors. We'll classify 5 as prime numbers. You should memorize all the prime factors till 100. It is not that hard and it's very easy. I'll list out the first 5 to 10. So first we have the prime factor 2. Okay, because we prime factor numbers that are greater than 1. So it can be greater than 1, like 2. So 2 is 4 isn't a prime number, 5 is, 7 is a prime number, and then we have 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 20, 23, 29, 31, 37, and so on. You should also know that the number 2 is a special number because it's the only even prime number. Okay, so it is a very special number. Now the next number in our list is square numbers. Square numbers are of the kind when an integer is multiplied by itself. Now some of the examples include 16 and etc. So these are all square numbers because these are like, let me show you. So square numbers are basically like one. Let's take, okay, let's just list out this. Yeah. So how do we get these numbers? Now these numbers are obtained because when when a number is multiplied by itself. So 1 is 1. So we have it as 1. And so similarly 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 4 as our second square number. Similarly 3 times 3 equals 9. We have it as 16. So it keeps on going like this. You need to be able to know all the square numbers till 20. So I'm not going to list them all out here, but we'll learn them later in this channel, in the later video. So let's remove this. Now let me talk about another types of number. Okay, fraction. So a fraction is a number representing a whole number written in the form a divided by b, where a and b are non-zero integers. So a number representing a part of a whole number written in the form a divided by b, where a and b are non-zero integers. So neither a or b are like 0. So let's understand what a fraction exactly means. What do you mean by a fraction? Imagine you have a pizza, and let's imagine there's four slices. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fraction will be 1 to 4. So you ate 1/4 of the pizza. That is in the fraction. You write the fraction in the form a divided by b. In this case, a is 1, b is 4. And you need to also know that this special name we say for these both numbers. So the top number we say as numerator. The down number we call it as denominator. And so these, you have to understand fraction in this form of this. So let's solve. Some examples include 1 divided by 4, 1 by 3, 1 by 8, 3 by 1 by 8, 13 by so these are all like fractions. And yeah, now the next number in our different types of numbers is the last number, which is decimals. Now a decimals a number that used place value and decimal point to show a fraction. Now these and some type of decimals examples include 0.5, 0.2, 0.08, and etc. So these are all the different types of numbers. And the set of rational numbers include all integers, all fractions, all terminating decimals. We'll get to the different types of decimals later in this channel, and all the reoccurring decimals. So, and irrational numbers cannot be written as fractions. So the set of irrational numbers consists of non-terminating and non-decimals. The square root of a non-square number, such as square root of 2, the square root of a non-square cube number, cube root of 12, and pi are all in irrational numbers. We'll get to the irrational numbers in the next video. For this video, we'll keep it as different types of numbers. So we discussed about natural numbers, odd numbers, even numbers, integer, prime numbers, square numbers, fraction, decimals. Now we'll learn our irrational and rational number in the next video. So stay tuned and to this channel. Please, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and like to support me and my channel. I'll be posting more of these videos as my channel grows. And yeah, so thank you for watching.